All right, cool. Kyle, do you want to do a quick intro and then we can kick off.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that works. And as we go through, like I mentioned, anyone that has questions, at the end we can go through them, but feel free to add them into the chat, and then I'll pop in at the end and address them to Kyle, and he'll sort through them.
Awesome. Okay. So my name's Kyle McMurray. You're going to hear a little bit about me in a minute or two. So I guess we could just get started, right? I mean, it's
Yeah, let's do it.
1:06. So let's go ahead. All right. So welcome to AI Unlocked, your small business growth formula. I had to use unlocked because every time you ask ChatGPT for something, it loves that word unlocked. But most of the stuff you're going to see today actually was created in ChatGPT. I don't know if you guys know that there's a part of ChatGPT called DALL-E 3, and it will create things like this. And this is a very simple command. I just said, here's what I'm doing. Can you give me some kind of a banner, poster, or book cover? And so it decided it wanted a book cover. But this was generated in about, I don't know, 45 seconds. So very quick and not so bad. I mean, there are better tools out there than using that. There's something called Midjourney. It's pretty complex at this point, so I'm going to avoid anything that's complex. And um, and just show you stuff that you can do just with a simple, typing a simple sentence in, which is what I did here. All right, so today we're going to talk about how to harness AI to skyrocket your local business growth, increase profits, cut overhead costs, all without working around the clock. All right, I have a company called Grow Now Marketing. We use technology to create marketing funnels that take strangers and turn them into paying customers predictably and on autopilot. So AI, yeah, I'm sure you guys know, has kind of taken the world by storm. This is a graph of how long it takes, how many months it takes for a platform to reach 1 million users. And you can see Netflix took over 40 months, right? So you're talking really 4 years basically to get to 1 million users. It's something that, most of us use. Twitter took almost 20, took about 24. Facebook took 10 months, so a little less than a year. Instagram, because it's such a go-getter, took less than 5. So it took about, I think, almost a little less than 3. ChatGPT took 5 days. So in 5 days, it hit 1 million users back in November, right around Thanksgiving time of 2022. That's how fast this thing is growing. It set a record again in a year, almost exactly a year ago, for the fastest growing user base ever. Again, and that's actual active users that are on there. And here's the crazy thing or frightening thing, depending on your viewpoint, is we're only on day one. If you look at how long it takes people to adopt to any kind of technology, look at the internet. It took it took a long time. It premieres in 1990. It really doesn't get going till about 2000, right? Look at smartphones even, but look at AI. It's just like almost a straight line up. Right? That's how fast this thing is getting adopted. And we're going to show you all the reasons why and what that means for you as a business owner. Because I believe that you are right now at probably the most powerful and lucky place you could be in as far as owning a business, if you'll adopt this. And I'm going to show you ways to do that today. But if you'll jump into this, the world is your oyster, or whatever that expression was from years ago. There's over 3,000 generative AI tools in the marketplace right now, and it's just growing like crazy. You had on ChatGPT. Has everybody used ChatGPT?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Cool. Well, you know that they have plugins. Have you seen those?
No.
Okay. So they have these things called plugins. They're already kind of being replaced by these things called GPTs. And I'll show you some of the GPTs today because they're really cool and they're all free. Okay, or most of them. So it's no one can keep up with this. And I know there's all this talk about, from Elon Musk and people saying we got to stop this, we got to put brakes on this. I don't think it's going to happen. I'll just be honest with you. I think it's moving way too fast, even for those guys. It's just, it's kind of like when Napster came out in 2000, they said, we got to stop this. Well, you saw how that worked out, right? Most of us use Spotify all the time. I think it's just moving. Remember, this is moving much faster than Napster. So the great thing is, it's like if you can jump on this, you're jumping on on a bullet train that can take you really wherever you want to go. And we're going to show you ways to do that today. So it's a good thing you're on here. And if you stick around towards the end, I'm actually going to show you this, which I think is mind blowing. All right. This was created with a 2-sentence prompt. That's it. All right. A 2-sentence prompt created this level of video. Now, I get that you guys might not be wanting to do woolly mammoths for your business, but think about if you had a dog grooming business and you wanted to show how careful you were. You could just, with the before and after of a dog, you could have it create all of this for you at this super high def video. Whatever you do for an event planning space, you could have, as you'll see a little bit later on, people that look like real people going in, having a blast at your different venues. That's the power of this. This is coming, right? And I'll show you how to do that. So I'm just going to, obviously I'm not claiming any kind of results. I always have to do this when I do webinars. I'm not guaranteeing you anything like that. So, enough with the legal stuff. But here's what just happened Wednesday. So this is actually not my client. I was called in to consult on this. This is a dental surgeon in Harrison, I believe, and they called me into because he was a YouTube channel was not getting much action. He had about 17 subscribers. Usually, most videos that he spent a lot of money on these videos, and they were getting 2 to 5 views. So they called me in and they asked me, could AI help with this? And I said, sure. So AI and I scripted out a bunch of scripts for him, and then we scripted out titles, and then we went and we did all the research in AI because I don't know anything about TMJ, right? That's the, when your jaw locks. And then we went to him and we shot these videos in about an hour. We shot, I believe, 12 of them. And we started putting them on YouTube. And then I used AI to optimize the title and the descriptions and the tags so they would tend to show up higher in search. Right? They give it the best chance. So this hit in the first 19 hours, it hit 3,100 views. Within 23 hours, it hit 36, and today it's right about 4, right? So less than 2 days later, because, well, I guess, right, it would be 2 full days today. It's almost at 4,000 views for a guy that has, 17 YouTube subscriber, which is probably his whole staff and his family and him. It's about the only people that subscribe. That's how powerful this can be using AI, knowing how to use it. Now, this isn't a guaranteed lock. Some of the videos we did only got 400 views. Some of them got 70 views. But this one really, I love the whole Tin Man angle. This was only about 22 seconds, and it killed it. And it's not the first time. We have many videos like this. This is a video I did. Same thing, over 2,000 views in 19 hours. This was a video I did about a dinner that Cleopatra had. So that's all on my YouTube channel. So the reason why these videos work so well is I was able to create the script in about 5 minutes. It took me about 10 minutes to kind of go through it, edit it myself, and we shot them. And the whole thing, I think from beginning to end, was less than an hour, right? To get all this free eyeballs to see this. And this is what some of the things that you can do with AI. So if you're a skeptic, I admire you, but I do need to ask you this question, and that is, when was the last time something faster, easier, and cheaper didn't win? Right? All of these things were faster, easier, cheaper, and now we could put more things in here too, right? But it's just inevitable. People can say, AI, it doesn't have anything to do with my business. I believe, unfortunately, those people are going to be really left behind, and very quickly, unfortunately. So today, if you promise to take notes, ask questions, and then most importantly, ask how can you make this work in your business, right? Instead of, all the time with clients, I'll show them something really cool and they'll say, yeah, my business is different. It won't work. And I think I noticed that those people over the years never grow. And I think it's because they think that way, that their business is different. And yes, there's subtle differences between businesses, but the things I'm going to show you today will work for everything. Maybe I think it would even work for a funeral home, honestly. So this will work. Just keep your mind open and think, hey, I wonder if that could work. How could I make that work for my business? How could I use that? Okay. So if we do that, we got a deal. All right. All right. So who's this for? If you don't have enough time in the day, right, to get everything done, if you've been struggling to find the right balance between work and personal life, if you think AI is just too complex for small businesses to implement, to try, if you don't believe that you have the necessary tech skill, this is a huge barrier to a lot of people. They think, well, I'm not techie. I'm going to show you today stuff that is easy to use as email. Okay. If you believe that integrating AI into your business operations will just take too much time, right? Or it might make your business lose its personal touch with customers. I'm going to show you something that might just blow your mind on that today. These are all kind of, and I get it, and I felt this way myself a few years ago. I started doing AI back in 2015, and I just thought it was kind of a fun little tool that had many, many years to go. So my goal for you today is to show you that it's not just for tech giants. It used properly can become your most powerful ally in achieving your business goals. And two, that it really does offer you practical, affordable solutions to enhance your operations, understand your customers better, and truly just leave your competition in the dust. Right? If you get the first mover, you get that. Okay. So who am I? Why should you listen to me? This is me with Daymond John a long time ago. Back when I started using AI in 2015, I'm certified among all kinds of different stuff. I built a lot of funnels, which isn't even on here, and things like that. I hang out with, this is probably the best Facebook marketer in the country right now. His name's Rudy Marr. I hang out with him a lot. Learned a lot from him running ads and things like that. So that's my pedigree. But here's what we did. We started, this all kind of really gelled for me back in October of 2021 when I finally had hit my revenue goal that I'd set 5 years before. And I was just overjoyed because, I have a girlfriend and she was always like, is this going to become more than a hobby, this business thing? And it finally it hit. And I was overjoyed. I had great clients and I was really thought I was on my way. And I did want to make sure that I didn't fall back into survival mode and had to take on other small jobs to keep things going, to make bills. So I was really, really enjoying this moment of getting my head above water. I got a call from my best client, and they asked me if I had the 17 ads ready for the meeting tomorrow, and that they needed them actually early. They said, we need them by 5:30 today. And I was like, cool, what ads are you talking about? And somehow it wasn't my fault. It turned out this was never communicated to me. Now, this was ads for a college, and these were very technical oriented ads of subjects. Each one was a different subject of which I knew nothing about. Programming languages like Python, all this stuff. So usually it would take me at least 2 weeks to get that kind of research and get these ads ready, because the ads that they want me to write are ads that actually get results, not just, we have this class, but actually getting people to sign up. And that's what they pay me for. So I needed to write some really good ads, and I didn't know anything about any of these subjects. So I was in a bit of a panic. And I thought, I'm going to lose this client, and that is about 40% of my business. And even though it wasn't my fault, and it didn't really matter. That's when I remembered a software that I had been using, playing around with for about a year, called Jasper. Now, Jasper was actually running off ChatGPT, but none of us knew that back then. And it was a copywriting software. And I played around with it, and I was vaguely impressed, but not really. And I realized that this was probably my lifeline. This was the only thing that I could use. So I jumped on there. I had to do all the research. I wrote all the ads. it helped me source images. And at 5:30 that day, I pushed send and sent all 17 ads. And what I was really surprised was 80% of the ads worked right out of the gate. Now I couldn't just take what it gave me. I did have to finesse them, right? That's what took the extra, all that time between the noon call and the 5:30 send. But still, it was faster than I'd ever seen before. And what I realized, I could actually now serve more clients with less overhead. And I also learned that you didn't need to have a big overhead to serve these clients like this, that I could leverage AI. I felt like I had a group of people around me, a group of junior copywriters giving me all these different ideas. It was as if I had 10 people in the room with me. It was that quick and that fast. So as a result, I started using AI on all my clients and I started having free time again, right? So I started hitting deadlines with ease, and I discovered that the secret to attracting more high-end clients, but at the same time being able to increase my capacity to serve them, in other words, scale, was to act like this was my new personal outsourcing assistant to help me get literally 10 times more done. All right, there's my little AI bot that I made. And not only was I finally able to have predictable income, but I was able to stop spending so much time at work fulfilling on clients. And the biggest thing was I actually could take a day off now instead of having 8 full days working on my business all the time, or 7 full days. Felt like 8, 7 full. Okay. So after paying a small fortune to the world's leading experts and about 18 months of testing and tweaking, we created what we call AI Advantage Marketing Funnels. I studied with Cecilia Tom, Neil Patel, Walter O'Brien, who was hacked NASA at 13. They made a show about him called Scorpion. He's believed he's the 4th smartest man in the world. He's been in AI for over 20 years. And then John Benson and Digital Marketer. So this is some of the people I learned AI from. The hard way, I think, for most of us is that we think that we need to work long hours, constantly sacrifice personal time. We're trying to do everything ourselves. We rely on old school methods to build our business, which are fine, but we don't want them to be the only thing, right? Or we believe we need to hire experts or developers to use AI, or it's just simply too complex for your business to implement. What I discovered was it wasn't true, right? That I could actually use it, and this could become a very viable way to scale my business with very little overhead. So this is where we are, right now. We're at this moment where we can have more growth with less effort. And before I show you all these tools, I want to give you kind of a framework, because the last thing I think business owners need is a bunch of cool, shiny tools, right? That we can just go, oh my God, and go here and go there, and then not really know how they fit in the business, right? So when someone actually comes to us, when they call us and say, we need Facebook ads, or we need Google ads, or whatever they think they need, we always say, that's nice. We need to sit down first, though, and we walk them through this process, okay? This is what we call the roadmap to increase customer activity. Because somebody says they need Facebook ads, we're not so sure yet. Right? We need to know that they've got a foundation in place. So I'm going to show you these tools with this framework, and really quickly I'll just explain it. At the very bottom is your foundation. This has to do with what kind of, are you credible? When people go to your website, does it load fast? And most impactfully is, what are your reviews like? So if you're running ads, if you're networking, it doesn't matter. If your reviews are less than 4, you're wasting your time. For the most part, right? Because somebody can just whip out their phone and in 10 seconds go, 3.2 review, that's not so good. I'll forget her or him, whatever. It's just not. So your foundation has to be in place. And when people ask us to run ads and they have less than 4 points, we just won't do it. We'll just say, no, we got to work on your reviews first, and we got to get your website. This also includes, how your website shows up in search, what they call your SEO, right? The second thing is active searchers, is next level. And these are people that they woke up this morning and they were looking for an event planner. They were looking for a pool, right? There's very few people that wake up in the morning looking for what you do. It's usually about 1 to 3% max of the whole market is woke up this morning and go, you know what, today's the day I hire a guy to build a pool. However, there are people that would be open to a pool, but maybe they think their backyard's too small, right? They're what we call passive. And maybe that if we showed on Facebook that we could make a small backyard have a really nice sized pool and it fit there, if they saw that before and after on Facebook, they might go, hey, this is kind of cool. We should think about making a pool, right? We call those passive people, right? Now AI can help you with all of this, but as you go from the bottom to the top, you get more predictable and more diversified, and your business gets stronger. The final thing is what we call on demand. That's when everything's working. Okay. So this is how I'd like for you guys to think about these tools that I'm showing you, so that you go, okay, where does that fit in? Is that part of the foundation? Is that part of getting more people that are already looking for me? Or is that getting people that aren't looking for me yet, but might be interested if I show them the right thing? Okay. So we rock all of our customers through this every time. And it just gives them a lot of clarity to know, okay, you're right. We got to get this straightened. So let me just show you really quickly the whole idea of a foundation, right? So we're talking about your business listing on Google, now on Apple Maps, your reviews, reputation, how fast it loads, and things like that, right? If this is out of whack, you're going to be in trouble. So this is the tool, the AI tool that we use. Because again, you can do all this stuff on the left. You can go to the chamber, you can have referrals, website, Facebook, whatever, even direct mail. But if your reviews aren't great, if you're Good Earth landscaping, you're doing all these things, who would you pick, right? You're not going to pick Good Earth. So you're basically sending your competition, people to your competition if you don't have a really dialed in thing, okay? So you want to make sure this is really good. So this tool uses AI to send out drip sequences through its own server, and it kind of stops bad reviews. You notice this little page here. If it feels like somebody's giving you a bad review, it'll say, hey, did you have a good experience or a bad? If they have a bad, it takes them off that platform and gives you the chance to answer them. Now, it can't totally, it's against the terms of service for it to not let them leave a bad review, but it does put a barrier up, which is legal. So you can stop about 90% of bad reviews right with that. And that's all using AI. It's all done without you thinking about it. When somebody leaves you a good review, it's already posted, it's automatically posted on Facebook. So that's just a simple way that AI can use, that you can use AI in your business. So here are the three things I really want to focus on today. And that first is the one belief holding you back from achieving your business goals. The second thing is, if you think you need to be a tech expert, I'm going to show you tools that are really easy to use as your email. And the third is, if you're worried about all the cost, I'll show you stuff that's, first of all, how it can slash cost, but stuff that is either free or maybe 10, 12, 15, even $20 a month. So let's get into the one belief. And that is, I think that most people think, well, I'm a small business. I don't really need to use this AI stuff, okay? It's just not, it's not going to fit in with me. I'm good. I can just keep getting referrals or whatever. But it's developing so rapidly and becoming more and more accessible and more affordable, right? So if you think about something that used to be a novelty 5 years ago, and that's what these things are, chat bots. Are people familiar with chat bots? You know what they are on your website? Yeah. So you go there and it answers your question, and it doesn't matter what time they're there. It's like having a customer support team that doesn't sleep and doesn't call in sick, doesn't have problems with its boyfriend or girlfriend, all that stuff. Well, those used to be fairly expensive. You used to have to hire somebody to be that person. But now with AI, you don't. And I'll show you how to make one in literally 5 minutes. So this is from Local IQ. It says that they've done a lot of studying of this and saying that 90% of customer service questions can be answered by a chatbot in 10 or fewer messages. So that's crazy. So a chatbot could answer all these pretty advanced questions, and I'll show you how we do it in 1 second. But just look at Seattle Balloon Assistant, which says, hey, when somebody says they're interested, it says, hey, by the way, are you celebrating something special? Or are you planning a balloon adventure? And it goes ahead and gives them choices. So think about this. It's already asking them questions. This is really like having a really good salesperson on the phone. Right, somebody that's saying, "Oh, by the way, is there an anniversary, or is there something you're celebrating? Why are you doing this? Are you on a proposal?" Right? So it's really doing the job of an excellent customer service person, even almost like a salesperson. And I'll show you how fast you can create these. Again, these used to be super complicated and super expensive. I just went into, I call this a 5-minute chatbot. I went into a GPT. Again, this is what we're talking about with chat. This is new. They're different than the plugins. If we have time, I can show you where to find this. And I just found something called Chatbot Builder. And I said, hey, listen, can I build a chatbot? And it talks to me like a conversation. And this is a great way to think about ChatGPT. Act like you're interviewing it. So it said, because that's what it's doing to you. I said, here, it says, what's your company's name? I said, Grow Now Marketing. It said, great. What should your bot's name be? Please give it a friendly name. I said, Growbot. Great. They said, nice choice. Right? It's very positive, very like, yeah. For instance, how are you gonna have it setting appointments, helping existing customers? So, and we went on from there. So that took about 3 minutes, and it generates something like this. Now, this isn't the same bot. This is a friend of mine's bot that he built, and he sells all kinds of stuff, but one of the things he's selling right now is shoes, because he's way out there. But it says like, how can I process a refund? Which product is best for me? I'm facing a technical issue. Can you help? What's the status of my order? It just goes on and on and on, right? So again, you're sleeping, you're doing something else, you're with your kids, and this thing's answering all these questions for you. And I'll show you how you do it. You literally load a Google Sheet with answers. That's all he did. So this is a guy named, really, I've known him for 10 years now, Billy Jean from Billy Jean is Marketing, fun guy. He's selling these crazy shoes, and he's got these questions over here. He just typed in the questions, and then he types in the answer. And you just upload this into ChatGPT, and it creates the bot for you. And it answers it just like this, right? So of course, because his name's Billy Jean, people, and he even gave it a little personality, because his name is Billy Jean, people always go, is this relation to the Michael Jackson song? So you can see at the second one, or the fourth line down, he goes, no, we're no relation, okay? So he kind of gave his bot its a little sassy personality, which you can do, right? And then people going, is this Billy? He said, no, this is Billy AI Assistant. So you could just upload everything in here that you would think of takes the place of an FAQ or even stronger than that, and you've got a full-time customer service person. Now, I'm not saying you wouldn't want someone else as you get bigger, but I'm saying this is pretty darn good if you're a small team. And it's done in about, total with even doing this, maybe an hour. But for 1 hour, you've now created a really on top of it customer service person. Here's another example, right? So this is a basic, this about as basic as you can get for a marketing funnel that we create for clients. The first thing is you have some kind of free content, or you advertise, you capture someone's lead so you can follow up with them, you make a sale, and you sell some more. So how would I do something like that? So I just went into chat and I said, hey, I'm a dog groomer, and I want to make it like a monthly dog grooming membership. And to get people to join it, I want to give away a free first wash. And that's what I typed in, and it came up with this in about 5 seconds, right? Customer sees advertisement for wash. So this is the flow of a funnel of what it would look like, right? It just walks them through. This is exactly what they do. They'd see the funnel, they'd book their first wash, they'd go to their first wash. During the visit, the groomer would explain the benefits of coming in every month, and the customer would either say yes or no. If they'd say no, then they get email follow-ups, and eventually they say yes, or they just say, I don't want to hear about this anymore. And that's it. This is so automated. It's so cool. And I didn't even need to hire a funnel expert to do this. Probably putting myself right out of business doing this. But so if you said like, well, okay, that sounds great, but I don't even know how to write an ad. Well, this is just a fun ad that I decided to put in there for like a Popeyes. I said, hey, ChatGPT, write me for an ad for Popeye fried chicken. Make it a really kind of I think a sailor kind of thing, I said. And so it made this jokey kind of ad. It said, why did the chicken cross the road? Well, to get this, all this funny stuff. You can get the slides of this later and you can read it. But it has personality. It has humor, right? It's just probably would not be something you could come up with right off the bat. This would take you a bit of time. It took chat about, I don't know, 29 seconds, I think. Then I could say, well, I want some kind of page for them to go to from the ad so I can capture their email address. So I asked it for a landing page. There, it did all the copy on the landing page for me, right? And then I said, well, before they buy something, I'd like for them to give them a chance to maybe buy something more so I can get my ad cost down. So there it is. It came up with all these ideas, gravy on the house, a deal, all this kind of crazy fun stuff. And it wrote all this and came up with it at the same time. Again, I'm going to show you a prompt, so don't worry about you're like, oh my God, I can't do this. I don't know how to do the prompt. I'll show you a really good prompt that covers a lot of this in a minute. Okay. But look how fast this is. This is lightning fast. You're able to market your business in a really cool way. Right. So, and then I said this, I want an upsell, right? And this is the upsell. It's like supercharged. This is like, you want fries with that. And it did this too. It understands all this because it's been eating the internet for 10 years. So it understands all this language, even if you don't, which is amazing. So who does this work for? Service-based, e-commerce, professionals, really anybody. Real estate agents, they can do all of this stuff, right? With just those two things, a marketing funnel and a chatbot. Crazy, right? And so it makes it easy to identify the most effective lead generation channel. You saw it do that with the dog grooming thing. I said, what would be a really good lead generation? It came up with all those ideas, right? The free first wash, all that stuff. It finds quality leads. It quantifies those leads. It converts those leads into customers, shows you how to do that. And it does even, follow up emails for it. And it does it automatically when you're not there. It'll also monitor your progress, do all your data, and track your ROI. It's impressive. I think it's as the genie in a bottle with endless wishes. So what else can it do? All right, so if you think you need to be a super tech person, here's some tools that are as easy to use as your email. So again, let's think about going back to that map. We talked about the marketing foundation. What would we use for that? I showed you the review software that we use. There's also active searchers now. So these are people that you really want to get in front of because they woke up this morning looking for an event planner, looking for a pool, right? So this has to do mainly with SEO and Google ads, right? Those are really the ways that you show up. So where does your website show up in search? And are you running any kind of Google ads for people that are searching for you? So you show up there, right? So this is something that uses AI. This is a GeoGrid, and it will show you, you can just type in there, the AI will go and find out how you rank in search as far as being around as far as like a large radius around your place. All right, what do I mean? So one way to think about, am I showing up in search? Well, you go to Google and you'll see what position you are. That's kind of helpful, but it's not what you think it is. I don't know if you know this, but it depends on your search history. If you constantly search yourself, you're going to constantly show up in high in search, but that doesn't mean you're showing up in high for search for anyone else. All right. It just means Google knows like you like to see that, so they're going to show that to you. Right. So it doesn't give you that much information because somebody else at 2 miles away will see somebody else show up first in search, not you. Okay. Am I making sense? You guys getting this? So because it all depends on that person's history and what they look for. So you need to find a different tool than that because that's not giving you enough information. And that's what this AI tool does. It goes in there and takes all the different search results and meshes and shows you exactly where you are. So if you're this person over on the left, all these X's, the red, you probably know that's not good. Right? Okay. If you're this person in the middle, you're okay within a 1 to 2 mile around your business because that always puts your business in the center. Okay. And then, but if you're this person on the right, you're killing it. Around 10 miles around your place of business, you rule. You're everywhere. All right. So here's a keyword for an old client for braces Tucson. As you can see, right in the middle, it's green. That means only within a little bit less than a mile. That's the only place they're showing up #1 in Google, which they should because it's right, it's less than a mile around their place. That's bad, right? They're missing. Look, if you just go a little bit over a mile, they're #5, #6, #7. So this is really helpful to know. Especially if you've hired an SEO person to know like, are they actually doing their job, right? So this was their competition, which terrified them. If you look at Just Smile, they're #1 everywhere, right? They're #1 within almost over 10 miles, like 12 miles. They're #1 all over the place, right? I think way up there, they're #3. But this is how AI can really, and this tool is, I don't know, I think it's $20 a month or something. Well worth it. But it uses AI to really show you what your results are so that you're not getting fooled by, where am I showing up in the Google search? Because it's different for everyone. Okay. So now let's move on to pay-per-click advertising. If you go into what's called the Google Ad Transparency Center, it will show you all the ads for anybody that any competition that you have, and what ads they're running and how they're and basically you'll know how they're doing, how long they've been running, right? So this can help you get some ideas for ads. It can also, Google Ads now has AI totally integrated. It will help you write ads. So if you put your keyword in, if you can say, I'm an event planner, Google will go, okay, let's do it. Now, I don't love it still, but it's a huge jump for most people. Most people have never written a search ad. They don't know how to write a search ad. And so they're going to make a lot of mistakes and waste a lot of money because remember, a Google ad is the most expensive ad because you're talking to people that are looking for you right now. So, and there's very few of them. So those are always expensive ads. So you want to make sure that you're leveraging AI to give you the best possible results for the best bang for your buck, if you want to say it that way. Okay, so that's one of the ways it can do it for that. Now let's just look at the last one, which is passive, right? So these are people who are, again, they're not looking for you. They might be interested, they might not, but you want to be able to get in front of them first. And again, the way that this thing is done is you want to start at the bottom and work your way up, right? So you don't want to try and do everything at once because it's a lot of money and it may, you're going to quickly be overwhelmed. So you want to get the marketing foundation first, then the active searcher, then the passive. Okay. So for this, we're talking about Facebook ads. We're talking about the Google display. Does everybody know what that is? That's if you're on a website, the little banner ads on the side, right? You're not searching, you're just on a website. Say you went to, I don't know, CNN.com. Well, maybe on the website, you could be there. Your business could be right there, particularly as if someone had already been to your website, which is called retargeting, which we'll check in a second. I'll show you how to do that in a second. But this is so how would AI help you here? Okay. Well, Facebook also has an ad library that will show you everyone advertising on Facebook for your market. And here's the tip. You want to look at people who have been running ads a long time, because if they've been running ads a long time, it generally means those ads are working, right? And you can get ideas from that. So AI curates all these ads for you, and it's just free. Again, 100% free. You just need to have a Facebook ad account, which again is also free. So this will show you great ideas for things that are working. Okay, so this is again, orthodontist back in Tucson. These are all the different ads that are running, and I would look back here and go, okay, what are they doing and how long have they been running these ads? If they've been running a long time, 2 or 3 months, I would go, I think I'm going to do something like this. Now, I'm not saying steal these ads. Not what I'm saying. They're inspiration. If you steal them, you can actually get into a little bit of trouble. So, but you can go, okay, they're doing something like a grand opening special, and that special is get $500 off. What could I do that's similar? Grand opening special that, if that fits for you, right? And they use the video. Could I shoot a little video on my phone that could make that work, right? That's what I'm talking about. So you're using it as inspiration, all right? So this is another really cool use of AI. This is the Google Display Network. This is what I was talking about before. If you're on the Food Network, you could actually have your business show up here on the side, particularly if someone had already been to your website. Isn't that cool? Like, you look like you're such a big company that you're on the Food Network. You're actually paying tiny fractions of pennies for that ad, but it makes you look really cool. So the AI is built into the Google Ads, and it will help you create ads for this as well, right? So really cool way to use it, particularly for people that have already been on your website because they've raised their hand and said, I'm interested. So this is what I mean by that. This is what we call a boomerang ad. So a user over here on the left, they go to your website, they want to look at something, and maybe they are one of the 1% to 2% that buy or call you right there, but most people aren't. So what happens is the ad networks track them and say, do you want to run ads to these people? Now, they won't give you their information because that's a privacy violation, but they will let you run ads. And those ads tend to be cheaper to them because not many people are competing with you. If you don't know, all these ads are like auctions. So they get to see an ad to remind them either on Google Display Network, like you just saw, or on Facebook. So it's a great way. I mean, you think about the old sales thing of like, we need to see things 7 times before we buy. Now they say it's like 50 times or something. It's just, this is how you take advantage of that using AI. AI will show you how to do all this, and it'll just become automatic, right? It'll help you create the ads. It'll do all the cool stuff for you. So this is another way people get that passive clients using AI. Now I want to show you something really cool. So this is not quite out for everyone yet. This is called Soros. It's using ChatGPT. But this is, I think, amazing. So all I did was putting a prompt that says, the prompt was, I want a stylish woman. Everybody know what a prompt is? Those are just instructions. That's just what you type into ChatGPT, right? So we put in here about, we want have her walk down a Tokyo street filled with warm, glowing neon, animated cities signage. She wears a black leather jacket, red dress, black boots, black purse, sunglasses, lipstick. She walks confident and casually, and the street's reflective. And that's all that happened. And this is what we got. This is 100% AI, right? This woman doesn't exist. None of these people exist. The street doesn't exist. This is 100% imagine. And look at the quality. Like it looks like top level quality, right? It's stunning. And this will soon be available with a ChatGPT interface, okay? And it's killer. And you notice that it's tracking her. This is like this would take a big crane and a movie. I mean, this is how I believe how most, especially Pixar type movies are going to be made, and a lot of other movies. This is an incredible one. This was the prompt was to put in a movie trailer featuring the adventures of a 30-year-old spaceman wearing a red knitted motorcycle helmet, which is ridiculous, right? And we even said shot on a 35 millimeter film, right? So here we go. Look at the level of quality is it's just mind blowing that they can do this. And again, this will be available to you soon to make videos. Now, this is available right now. If you say, I hate being on camera, I don't want to be on camera, there's a fantastic AI tool called HeyGen. Okay, it's about 20 something a month, 24 a month, and you can use it with some other voice things, although the voice one here is pretty good. It will, if you just are on camera yourself, you don't need to show anybody, you just upload you being on camera for 5-10 minutes talking about things. It will create a virtual you. And this is what this guy did, and I want you tell me if you can hear it.
Blake from Notion. Today we're introducing
You hear it?
Notion
Yeah.
AI, which brings the power of artificial intelligence directly into your Notion workspace. Let's say we're writing a blog post to introduce Notion AI. It's as simple as asking AI Assist for help and clicking Generate Post. Next, just sit back and watch as artificial intelligence.
Okay, so he's not there. He never made that video. They just typed that script and gave it to HeyGen. Okay, so this will allow you to make videos without making videos, without being on camera. You do have to be on camera once, right? This also has avatars. If you don't want to be at all, it can do that too. But it'll sound like you, it'll look like you, and an instant translation. This guy could talk in Chinese right now. I could just say, I need it in Chinese. It would move his mouth as if he was speaking Chinese. It would, everything, right? And this is available now. This is really where we are. I mean, for me, this moment all happened here. I don't know if you remember this about a year ago when somebody did a fake Drake song. It kind of blew up people were just, when people really kind of woke up and started getting terrified. They're like, wow, that sounded so like Drake that even, it'd be like no one could tell the difference. And that was a year ago. And you can see how far things have come, right? So AI really is the genie in the bottle with endless wishes. It's really like having a team of highly skilled employees working for you for free 24/7, right? And now I want to show you just a quick way for you to use a prompt, because I know a lot of people get confused about that. So first of all, it's just 2 steps. The first is to realize your output, what you get back from GPT, is only as good as your input. Okay, so if you say something like, write me a Facebook ad, it's going to write you something super generic. It's just going to be like, hi, we're here, buy our stuff, right? You should have at least one master prompt, and this is one we use a lot. And we call these a role-based prompt. And what I mean, you'll see what I mean by that, but ChatGPT loves, all these things love context. So I always say act as a blank, act as an expert data analyzer, act as an expert Facebook ad copywriter, right? Act as, something like that. So act as a expert something. So it immediately starts to go, okay. And then you give it some kind of, that's what the capability was, like expert or level 3, whatever you want to say. And then give it a command to create something that is a result of a certain length about your topic or your service or your product. Does anyone know what a USP is? Everybody heard that word before? A USP just means what makes you unique. Why should I buy from you rather than your competition? Okay. And that's a very important thing to have. So if you have that, you should put it in here, and I'll show you mine in a second. And then make it, and you can have it do a style. If you remember the chicken thing, I had it do like I think I wrote it as Popeye or something like this, right? So you can say, make it sound like Oprah, make it sound like whatever. So here's what I did. I said, act as an expert marketing copywriter, write a radio advertisement that's 30 seconds long about our local bakery called Kyle's Macaroons, where we bake delicious macaroons using only, and here's my USP, grass-fed butter and eggs flown in daily from France, right? That makes me different than all the other bakeries. If that was my USP, I wish it was. I wish I could get that, but anyway, and is persuasive and in the style of John Benson. John Benson was one of the people that I worked with. He's a billion-dollar copywriter, so he's usually pretty good. And it knows John Benson. So if you, this is what it came up with in less than a minute. It says, oh, gentle French accordion music playing in the background. Bonjour, food lovers. Have you experienced the unique sensation of biting into one of Kyle's macaroons? No? Oh la la, you're missing out, right? Our tiny bakery nestled here in town. Kyle's Macaroons treats you to the authentic taste of France every single day. We craft our macaron meticulously using the finest ingredients. The secret, our butter just isn't butter. It's grass-fed. It's blah, blah, blah. And our eggs are flown in daily from France. When you bite into Kyle's macaron, it's not just one. It's a journey to France right in the heart of our town. So come indulge your taste buds, right? Fading French accordion music. This is a radio ad. That's what I told her to write. If I'd said a Facebook ad, it would have given me something different, right? Stop by today or call us to order. Merci, and see you at Kyle's. That was one try. That's just the first try. Pretty good, right? So then I asked it, I said, hey, chat, what did we used to have to do to write things like that? And it gave me, it spit out this whole thing on the left, which is a little bit long, although not pretty good. I just said, could you cut that in half? And in a second it did, right? So it did the same thing, but in half. This is, my girlfriend is a realtor and she was looking for ways to create content. So I said, let's go into chat. And so I said, act as an amazing content creator, come up with all different kinds of ways that we could create really cool content for realtors. And this is what it came up with: the ultimate home buyer's guide, the perfect home checklist, the home staging secrets revealed, the neighborhood explorer map. This is only a third of what it came up with. All right, there's 3 more pages of this. And then, but what's more is I could actually say, okay, I like this home value assessment toolkit. Could you create it for me? And it would do it. So this is definitely a new way and a better way. And just as a way of saying, you know, I don't want you to think, I don't want you to think this is too overwhelming because I just showed you all these tools. But I want you to think, like, if you were in a race and everyone else was allowed to start, you know, say a minute before you, well, by the time you started, you'd be way back here, right? You wouldn't even see the people. They'd be so far ahead of you. And that's what it's going to be like for people that use AI, unfortunately. Like, if you can jump on this now, you're, especially in a local business, you're going to be so ahead, right? You'll have that huge thing. You know, you will, and everyone else will be getting this dust kind of look. So unfortunately, I would say that those who fail to adopt AI will fall behind fast. Just because of how powerful it is and how easy it is, right? So real quick, we'll just go through this very fast about cost. This is how much is all this stuff going to cost. It sounds good. Well, you know, this is when they did this in 2022. This was what people had said about marketing. It's 5 to 10, 25 times faster. I believe it's faster now. I think it's over 30 than any human writer on the planet. It is also better now, because the more that we use ChatGPT, the better it gets. So here's somebody writing a blog post. It would cost about $720 to write about, just say, a 2,500 SEO blog post, right? It would take you at least 4 hours. It would take editors another hour. So you're talking about quite a bit of money now to publish one blog post. With an AI writer, you can have this done in very, very fast, and it costs you about 0.009 a word, about $25 a blog post. And that was then. I think you could even do it cheaper now, and you would have just an editor really for 1 hour. So you're talking about an hour and maybe 5 minutes to create a very highly ranked blog post. Okay, 5 times faster, 11 times cheaper. Again, this is from 2023, so this is actually outdated already. So you see here generally it takes somebody, one blog per person per day. This is 5 to 10 easily with no problem, and it wouldn't even be a full day. Okay. So you could get 100 pieces done a month, and with one writer and an AI writer. Here's Canva. I don't know if you use it, and this is how to create a bunch of Instagram posts instantly. And I'll actually show you somebody walking you through that real
All
quick.
right, I just wanted to come post this in case it helps anybody. I've seen some questions. I know from my group I've gotten some. I just created a 10 picture carousel in Canva. Crazy. Used ChatGPT and Canva together. I've used Canva for a couple things, but nothing really crazy. And I think this way of using ChatGPT might help. So the first thing is I just went in and grabbed this right here, this recently used one. I just grabbed it.
Okay, so I don't want to go, but again, like it's a very easy thing to do, and I can share that video with you. But that's all he did, and he uploaded a bunch of things, and it created all that. You could do an entire month of content that way, right? That's how crazy. There's also this is a plugin that says get a monthly content calendar in a click, right? It's crazy. It'll give you everything that you need to do that can help you do your, boost your presence on SEO wise in search, get you better search results in seconds. Okay. It's just so crazy. And finally, I thought we'd just listen to a second of this because it's so frightening, I think. And this is an actual AI salesperson.
It's Lawrence from Milk Solar. How's your day going so far?
Pretty good here.
That's great to hear. So, Steve, it looks like you opted into one of our ads looking for information on solar. Did you happen to build yourself a design or have one emailed to you?
Yeah, I had one emailed to me.
Awesome. That's exactly why I'm calling. I'm actually a manager on Milk Solar's design team, and I wanted to check in with you to see if there's any way we can help you. By the way, just a heads up, some people have mentioned that the audio is a bit laggy today. So if there's any delay or if I cut you off, I apologize in advance. Anyway, I'm curious, what had you looking into solar in the first place?
And it goes on, but that's a totally AI person, the English accent. And he ends up selling the guy, right? He's very good. He's never rude. Everything the guy says, when the guy tries to, have objections, he's like, cool, I totally get that. If we had more time, I'd play the whole conversation, but this is where it's all going. All right. So now it can even sell for us and never be in a bad mood or have a personality problem. This was using Midjourney. This is Cecilia Tan showed me this, and we challenged her to do like a hot dog machine, and she came up with this in, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes. All these different images of a hot dog machine. And again, these are high, and this was a year and 3 months ago. But it still blows my mind at the capabilities back then, and they're even better now. And it's a ridiculous product. It doesn't exist, but it just shows you what this software can do. So I want to leave you with this, that, the Industrial Revolution was really all about production. The internet age was all about information. The platform age, meaning the Facebook, all that stuff, was all about content. And now in the AI age, we're all about imagination and using intelligence, right? And being able to leverage this massive bank of intelligence that AI has accumulated for us. If you want, this is my email. If you scan that, you'll get onto my newsletter list. This is my YouTube channel. My Instagram is there as well. So that's how you can contact me. And now I'll take questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kyle. I know that we're just at about time, so if anyone has a couple extra to hang on, I threw a couple questions in there. I also know Donna threw in a question, so we'll just jump right into it. The first was about the slide at the very beginning about how you were using a tool to get Google search reviews. We were wondering the name of that tool, if you had it, or if that's a plugin through ChatGPT or something you
No,
created.
the review. That's
Yeah.
that's our tool that we use here. It's called Review Lead.
Okay,
I've
got it.
licensed it. It's some friends of mine created it, and it's super cool.
Okay. And can you is it a plugin available, or is it something that
That one, that's a paid one, like
Yeah.
that, because it's a full-on service. And the reason why is because the thing with reviews is you need to just get more of them. You can never get rid of the bad ones. So what the idea is to bury them by getting more and more. The reason why I found it is I had a client that got angry with me about something, and she just just went to town on me, and it wasn't true, and she was still using my ads. It was really discerning, but that's when I was like, wow, somebody can just, because I only had 5 reviews at the time, she pushed me down to like a 2.4 or something, because I was
Yeah.
instantly hit by somebody that I'd done a really good job for, and even her partners, called me to apologize, but what was done was done. So I had to find something that was the best software I found, and I licensed it from them, and I love it. It helps me get reviews constantly. So
Okay, got it.
um, okay,
And
good.
and then we just had another one pop in. What's the name of the tool that is currently available for creating videos?
So there's a bunch of them. If you use ChatGPT, there's one called Veed, Veedio. That will do decent. The cool videos that I showed you is Sora. It's openai.com/Sora, but it's not totally it's only in beta right now. So it's coming. But
Cool.
that's coming.
Cool.
But there's other ones out there. There's the tool that I showed you before is called Hey Gen, that will make a likeness of you. There's also something called Descript. Descript will transcribe, and also so it will also let it's somewhat like the other one, Hey Gen. It's just not quite as good, but you can take video into that and have it cut out things and type new things in for you to say. It's very cool. So Descript is very good. It also transcribes all your videos.
Awesome.
Yep.
And then I just had sorry, another just popped in. Is there an app where you provide a pic and it turns into an ad or video? Like it outputs.
That's where you provide a pic, and you turn the ad into a video. There is. I'm trying to think what that would be.
Probably a combination, right? If you were to just ask for ChatGPT, add copy, and then you had the actual image, you can kind of like merge those things together.
You could do that. I think Canva actually might even be able to do that,
Right,
because Canva will make videos now.
right.
It's pretty darn good. And so, but there is something else. I just can't remember it right now. There is something that will take, and I've used it before, and I haven't used it in a while, but it will take a still image and make it move. Shoot, we just used it for a campaign with the trampoline jumpers like 6 months ago. If you hit me up, and if I will find out where it is, but it's really cool. It'll take a still image and it made people look like they were jumping.
Awesome. And then when it comes to that type of creative, this is just a thought I had when we were going through some of this are there any disclaimers that we need to add to this type of creative when using it in marketing? Like just knowing that it did come from a couple of different places, right, to pull that together.
Yeah, it's a legal nightmare, honestly. When I was working with these guys, that was a big concern back a year ago. But again, it's moved so fast that it's just, I don't know how they're going to keep up with it. We're going to go back to 10, all these users and try to get people to. I know that they're trying to work on it. I know that now that YouTube is starting to say like, hey, if you generated this with AI, you need to say so, although no one's really doing it.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is that moment that I'm talking about. Like, this is the moment to jump in, because it will get more, like everything does. Like Facebook advertising used to be a bonanza of craziness back 10 years ago when I first started doing it. You could do almost anything.
Mhm.
And now it's very restrictive. And if you mess up, if you go against their policy, they'll just ban you
Yeah.
without warning you. You'll wake up and your ad account will be gone.
Totally.
So, yeah, it can be that bad. So you have to be, I'm very careful with them.
Yeah.
But I didn't used to be. I didn't
Right.
used to be at all. So, so everything will get that way. But I remember how long it takes laws to be passed and all these things. So that's why I'm saying that now is the moment to jump in, because you can do all this stuff without having to credit it. I mean, Google said at first a year and a half ago, it said, well, if you use this, we're not going to let you, we're not going to rank your stuff. Not true. And now they have their own version, Gemini or whatever. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, if you guys want a cool tip, Poe.com is awesome. Poe.com is about $20 a month, and it allows you to access Gemini, ChatGPT 4, all of them in one place. And it costs the same money as ChatGPT does by itself. So
Awesome.
Poe.com is a really awesome way to it has like 4 of them in there, 4 of the AIs.
And then quickly on the search topic,
Yep.
for Google Display Network, you only able to still either white label or blacklist industry categories, right? Like there's not a way to, you wouldn't say as a business owner, I specifically want to be on, Home and Gardens and then Home Beautiful and Food Network, and then exclude all of the other publishers within that same category. If you were, let's just say that there were some that were not brand safe technically, but it was part of the category. So you can't individually select the publisher. I just kind of want to clarify that aspect of it.
Well, you can definitely stop whole types of things, like
Right.
never show me on any adult website,
Right,
never
or
show me
politics
on
or
any, like that, things like that. I think you can. The last time I checked, I think you can do some individuals. I think they do give you the options for those.
Got
I
it.
don't, it's not going to be everything because that would
Right.
be a ridiculous amount. But you can, if you have, especially the bigger ones, you can say, I don't want to be on, if you're right wing, you can say, I don't want to be on MSNBC. You know?
Mhm.
If you're the opposite, I don't want to be, so you can do that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
there are the bigger ones, you can exclude yourself.
Got it. Cool. Okay, cool. Are there any other questions not in the chat that anyone would like to throw into the mix? If not, we can, as Leslie mentioned, she's going to pull this video, probably clean up the first 5 minutes or so, cut it down a little bit. And if you specifically want the videos, we're happy to send it over. We're not posting them anywhere publicly, but we'd be happy to send them over to you and get you in contact with Kyle as well, if you'd like. Cool.
Very
Thank
interesting.
you so much for the information.
Okay,
Thank you so
cool.
much, Kyle.
All right. This is
Talk to
great.
you
Thank you so much for having me. All right.
Yeah,
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.